Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gamers Without Borders. It is Saturday, February 19th, 2011. This is Test Zero, and with me, as always, the UK's last line of defense against the invading zombie Dalek forces, Oi, from Pad Gaming.
Hey, yep.
And also with us today is Duke CT from Duke CT Lounge. How are we all doing today?
Great.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Before we begin, I believe, Oi, you had something you wanted to add to our previous discussion about militant DRM. I recall you had an experience with Dead Space 2.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to bring it up last time. Many people in America and especially over here in England experience a pretty big problem with it. It has a strange form of DRM in that if you buy the game before its official release time, the game will actually not unlock itself. It's the strangest thing. And I read a lot of forums about it because I was looking around to see if someone had maybe broken into it or not. And it was a big problem in America because people bought it like at midnight on in sort of New York time.
New York, yeah, East
Yeah,
Coast time.
but they couldn't unlock it until 4 o'clock in the morning because the timer was set for the Pacific Coast time, and it
Right,
was
and
even
that's
yeah, even for England, the time was set for 12 o'clock midnight Pacific Coast time. So
even the UK
yeah,
release even.
yeah, the UK release, yeah, was set for Pacific Coast time. So we couldn't actually physically play the game until 8 a.m. on the day of its release. So if you were kind of really lucky and happened to get the game, I mean, I pre-ordered the game and imported it from America because I wanted the special edition version, and I got it on the Wednesday, and it came out the following Friday. So I got it 2 days ahead, and so I had this game sitting on my side, capable of not working because of this stupid DRM. I mean, it's an interesting concept having a game tied to its official release date, but surely there are better ways to do it than set it at the furthest most point of the world, time zone
Yeah, I
wise.
mean, yeah, it's which I guess brings us to our first topic of this afternoon. A recent editorial article posted on GameSetWatch.com claims game developers should love their pirates because pirates, before they count as criminals, count as fans. If you look at a game franchise like Halo, something that's so story driven, where one game connects to the next, you would expect people to start at the beginning and work their way through. But if you look at the actual sales figures, you see the exact opposite. Sales of each game in the franchise, well, the main franchise at least, sold more than the previous. Halo 2, for example, sold 3 million more copies than Halo, which is an indication that either A, people don't care about the story, or B, more people played Halo than actually bought it. And well, with the multiplayer aspect of such a game, I think it's certainly a possibility. But it's even though it's harder to pirate an Xbox game, you could easily get it secondhand or something like that, which doesn't really count as piracy, but it still counts as more people playing the game than actually bought it. So where was I? The article goes on at some length, and when the developers but basically, when the developers see their games as a product that has to be protected, it causes them to see their customers as the problem, when really they have to rethink exactly what they're doing. If you look at a website like Google, just look at a website like Google. Google has never charged anything for their product. It's always been free, and they've always been providing this service free of charge to anybody who goes to their website. They make no money when you use their website, but they're a company that's been valued at over $200 billion simply for providing a free service.
Well, they do
Yo,
make money from that because
Yeah,
they put adverts on, and I mean on the web that's the number one way to make money, isn't it? Off any website,
yeah.
anywhere
yeah.
you you
The
you
currency
stick
of the
up
internet
adverts.
is recognition.
Yeah,
And the more recognition you get, the more people will watch stuff. More ads will get on your videos or your blogs and everything else. It's all about recognition, and I think this is something what the gaming industry needs to really needs to connect with a lot more and get and be more on this because gaming is still a new and young medium and can be the forefront of this because piracy has been going on, for like bootleg DVDs and bootleg VHSs and everything else. They could be like saying,
You
they
wouldn't
could,
steal a you wouldn't steal a book. You wouldn't steal a bike. You wouldn't
yeah,
steal a baby.
yeah, those
yeah,
adverts are fucking retarded.
yeah, but It's just that you just they I think they can be like, say, you know what, let's find a way to not handicap the consumer, because that's what the DRMs are. They're handicapping them. And once you handicap them, people will look to piracy. They will look to other means of getting the game, and that what it is. That is what they will do.
They
Because if
see it
they,
as a method of protecting their investment because these top budget titles cost so much to produce. They have so many people working on the team and they cost so much to make that they have to make sure that it sells so many millions of copies just to make sure that they turn a profit on it. I mean, you almost never see video game commercials on TV. You can look for them, but they're not. But they're almost never there unless you're watching a network specifically designed for it, like G4 or something. But like the last game commercials I've seen were for a game like Dead Space 2 or most recently Black Ops. And then as once those games came out, and then they're like after 2 weeks or so, they stopped showing the commercials because they're just trying to get the word out there that this new game is out and this is the game you have to buy because it's the only game that has advertising for it. Um, but if you compare it to something like Minecraft, which sold purely on
word
word of
of mouth,
mouth.
yes.
There have never been any ads for it. I've never seen any ads for it, not even on the internet, like in sidebars or banner ads. I've never seen any ads for it, just purely on word of mouth. And if you compare that to one of the other huge PC games from last year, StarCraft, I actually did a YouTube search for both of them. StarCraft yielded 333,000 results, and Minecraft yielded 705,000.
It's word of mouth, and I think gaming needs to get on this, because it is really is an interactive medium, and they should be more interactive. Cause with YouTube, Twitter, and all these websites and such, they can get the name out more. And yeah, I mean, to me, that's really is a waste of time going on television. Cause let's be honest here, most people are going away from television. Most people are going away. Ratings have been going down. People are going on the computers a lot more. So I truly think the best situation to do is okay, if you want to have TV advertisements, fine. Like for big games like Marvel vs. Capcom, or or say a Dead Space 2. But your real main advertisements or anything else should be these gaming websites, should be these YouTube and everything else, small little tidbits. I mean, I haven't seen stuff on Bulletstorm, but I guarantee you people are hyped up as hell to see it, because they'll be going on gaming sites. It's all over on YouTube. I think Machida.com. I think it's on Kotaku, Screw Attack,
And you
all
can
this
even
other
compare
stuff.
that to something like Team Fortress 2, which is fairly simple game, very well balanced. But the fact that there have been so many fan things made for it, so many fan art, so many fan machinima, things that Valve really encourages people to make, it really does kind of solidify the game as an important part of the community, and that people, even though the game is such, it's not even a full price title, I believe it's only maybe $20 or so. But there's people that are still playing it, and then they're charging them for just the minor DRM, like hats or whatever. And then, and that's just people that love the game so much that they're actually willing to put this money into it. And not, and that's just the way people are. They will, if they like something, they will go into it. But people that pirate it aren't necessarily people that are trying to steal money from this company. It's something either because of DRM or they just can't afford it, but they still want to play the game because they appreciate these characters so much. They shouldn't see pirates so much as criminals, even though, I mean, technically they are. But it's you're guilty of the crime of loving a game.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean,
and
a lot of people also use piracy to try a game. I mean, if you decide, you look at a game, you think, oh well, I'm not sure if I'm going to like that. Some people will rent the game out, but a lot of, there's not many places you can actually rent games from now these days.
Yeah, they're
Um,
starting to go belly up now that
yeah,
every now that with digital
particularly,
distribution and everything.
yeah, I mean, particularly PC games, because of course you can't borrow a PC game because of DRM. I mean,
Right.
you can only load like BioShock 2 5 times, and then the game locks out, and then you have to buy another license for it,
And
which
which
is
it's
and
which
it's
which is
stupid,
close
but
to extortion, actually.
I mean,
and
but
that
if you think about it, how many times would you have to? I mean, ideally, you would want to be able to install a game any number of times, but how many times would you have to install Bioshock 2? I mean,
Well,
how
I've
many
had to
times have you
install it
had to
three
install it?
times. Yeah, I've installed it 3 times already on mine. I had to uninstall it at one point because it had some random error popped up into it. I have no idea where the hell it came from.
And
Which
with
is their problem. That's the
yes,
problem. They charge you for the, which does I believe can sort of qualify as extortion. They charge you for these games, and then because of some error they made, you're forced to reinstall it and use one of your limited reinstallations, which is
which
which
is
is bullshit. I will say,
it is.
but I mean, it's
But to me is that you have to look at it from their point of view. Is that piracy is a problem, and there has to be something to make sure people don't re-download, someone to just steal steal the entire game and put it up on there, because it has happened, and you have to realize that. And these guys are getting smarter and such, and it's getting pretty hard to really produce the games. Not produce, I mean, protect the games. It's really hard to protect the
yeah,
games
it's
and such.
because I know if I put I've released a game and I know if somebody got it without paying for it, I would be kind of mad. That and I did release a free version of it, and then I released a special premium paid version of it, and I imagine that the people who wouldn't pirate the premium version. But I would be kind of pissed off if they did that, which is kind of why I put in a password to unzip it. But that could easily be get past just by knowing the password. I, but I'd imagine, yeah, it sucks, but at least somebody else is playing the game, and they might be more interested in the sequel that I'm making for it. So you gotta kind of look on the light side of these things. Yes, it would be ideal if they didn't pirate it, but it's not entirely a bad thing.
I
Like
mean,
go ahead,
yeah,
Ron.
well, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you actually look at the numbers of people who pirate are significantly less than the people who will legitimately buy the game. And even if, as I was saying earlier, if you want to try the game before you buy it, even if you pirate the game, if you then go out and buy a copy, it doesn't damage anything in any way. And pirated numbers, that they're significantly less than people will buy it. So it's kind of one of these things you have to look at the pros and cons. Is pirating genuinely detrimental? Is it preventing them from gaining any money? Is it bankrupting these multi-billion dollar companies, or is it not really having an effect at all?
I think it. Personally, the thing is, I think extra credits put this best is that the people who need to do it is ones that need to, like, if they get their name out there. Like stuff like they can't buy the game. Like somewhere in these third world countries that can't buy the game anyway, they should probably pirate. That's why the most the
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing that I forgot to bring up. There are people that they simply can't get the game legitimately because it's not released in their country, so they have no choice but to pirate it. And these are the people who really are the true fans. They chose to break international copyright law just because they wanted to play this game that they like.
and
And
the laws of their country or what have
yeah,
you. So these are people you don't want to really alienate as well. This is because these are people who really love this game and really love the stories that these games and to get out of their dreary lives. We should not be attacking them with that. With this, like, oh my goodness, you have to destroy all the piracy and everything else. Like, these are some of these people who can't buy the game because they're living in a place that they can't physically buy the game, which I wish some of these developers can get through their heads, because that's what the main problem with piracy is. Some of them, that's the main gap, I guarantee you, of these people who are pirating, is the people that can't legally buy the game. I guarantee you that.
yeah. So we're kind of repeating ourselves from our previous episodes, so we can move on to our next topic of Guinness, famous for their beer and Book of World Records, recently put out a list of the new World Record Gamers Edition book for the top 50 video game characters of all time, as voted on by more than 13,000 other gamers. And the list, I don't know, it seems kind of lopsided, don't you think?
Well,
You kind of
honestly, oh, go ahead.
Well, no, no, go on.
Oh, okay. Well, there are some people here that You know, some old guys like see Larry Laughing from Leisure Suit Larry 45. You know, and some like people don't really get like say Ash Ketchum or Goku or Naruto and that and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a list. It's a fan list. I mean, there are people. I
Well,
mean,
it's not quite a fan list
I mean,
because this is the Guinness World Records.
yeah,
This
but
is
it's a
kind of
list. It's a list.
yeah. It's a
And
the two Mario and Link are at the top, which is I could totally see them. But then we have Master Chief, Solid Snake,
don't
and
not
then Cloud
doubt.
Strife
Yeah,
rounding out the top five.
don't doubt these two games and such. Halo and Final Fantasy really, if you
Halo, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, yeah, those are kind of defined as like some of the biggest games ever.
and some of
But
the
I mean,
best
as much
games,
as I love Final Fantasy VII, you have to admit Cloud is kind of a nothing character. He's
yeah,
he's so stoic. He never shows any emotion. You never know what he's thinking. I'm sure you can name like 2 dozen other RPG protagonists that had that same character archetype. I always felt the most interesting character in that game was Barrett, but that's not the point.
yeah, but it's the people it's the lead protagonist. I have no problem with Solid Snake or Master Chief. Even though they're basically, Master Chief and Cloud Strife are basically bland templates. But they are the protagonists. They're the people they see through the games and see through what happens to them. And honestly, and people love these games. They love their characters and such. They love the Halo series. They love the Final Fantasy series, and that sort of thing. And these are one of the most popular choices of the games right now. And over the course of all these years, the past 10 years, majority was. I'm surprised Master Chief didn't get number one if you really be honest with me.
That would have been an upset if Master
Yeah.
Chief was number one. I
Well,
would
but
have killed
really,
for
think about it. Think about it. The past 9 to 10 years, what has been the most biggest forefront in gaming? Let's really be real here. What was the biggest uh, thing in gaming for the most
online
part?
play. Online play, really.
Yes, and what was the forefront of that? Halo and the
I
multiplayer.
suppose.
And let's really be honest.
Although, if you're going by that logic, you could argue, I mean, because Halo didn't start online. If you're going by that logic, you could argue GoldenEye on the N64.
No, no, but I'm saying
That was another huge multiplayer game that everybody started playing. But and yeah, it's like, but James Bond isn't on the list, even though other characters like Naruto and Goku, I don't even think they should count as video game characters.
but
I mean, if they're on the list, why not someone like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker? They were in Star Wars games.
yes, but getting back to the map, but yet 9 years, what like Halo 2's online. I mean, that recently shut down. That was a long and big community, and the Halo 3 community as well, and Halo Reach and all this other stuff. You cannot downplay what Halo has done for gaming, good and bad, or whatever happened. I mean, it was one of the main
Sure,
launching points.
yes, but the thing is, this is a list of characters, but it really reads more like as a list
I was going to
of
say it's not
top
so much
50
a list of the
protagonists from
characters.
video games,
It's
like
it
protagonists from the top 50 video games.
Yeah,
It's like,
if you look at number 8, Gordon Freeman, how can he be a character when he isn't really anything at all? Gordon Freeman is like you just play a
Gordon Freeman is a
face.
nothing
Yeah,
character.
Gordon Freeman,
He
he
never
doesn't
says a
speak.
damn thing.
Yeah, what they're actually looking at is they're looking at the popular games and then taking characters from those games. That's what they're actually doing, which is why you got like Mario, Zelda, Halo, Metal Gear, Final Fantasy, Half-Life. All these games are really popular, so they're thinking, well, who's a character we like? I mean, to be perfectly honest, I think Barney from Half-Life 2 has more personality than Gordon Freeman himself.
Or
Yeah, that's true.
Alex from
Oh yeah,
Alex,
that's
Alex,
true.
hell, even Dog.
yeah,
Even Dog
yeah,
has more personality than Gordon.
yeah.
Alex should have been mentioned in this list as well. And when you look at other lists, someone like say Laura Croft, who was had a nice reboot the past couple years, but I think she should have been a bit lower because she was big in the mid to late '90s, but
Laura
There's only
Croft
one
should
reason
not
why
have
Lara
beaten out
Croft is big, and we
Samus.
both know what that is.
ex-
Laura Croft should not have beaten out Samus.
No.
Samus landed at number 14.
Although,
Crash Bandicoot
mm,
landed at number 11.
yeah,
What was the last game Crash Bandicoot was in?
I
I
have
think
no.
Mind Over
I think
Mutant.
though, although I will say, I think Other M has somewhat tainted
Yeah,
Samus Aran's.
I really don't think that. I think this is kind of the backlash of of Other M tainting Samus's
Yeah,
character
yeah.
But
so much
honestly, though,
that she ended up falling so far on this list.
but I'm not worried about that. About this whole Samus and I have the game. It's not that well bad, and just too long and such. The characterizations and such is too damn long. But it just seems to me though that Laura Croft, who, I mean, I know she has another game coming out, and it looks actually very interesting. But to me, that just feels like the legitimacy of the list is that really does strike me. Like, why is she above, like, say, Kratos, who has much more of an impact recently than Lara Croft? Or let's see, Nico Bellic over. I mean, Nico Bellic was one of the most big in one of the biggest games, hype games in 2008 in GTA 4. Uh, why is that not in there? Or Soap McTavish. I mean,
Yeah, it's Modern Warfare. Okay, I haven't played the game, but who was this character? I mean, these characters, these are all. A lot of them are fairly new. At least half of them are from after 2000. Um,
yes, and
they have
that's
they have Shadow the Hedgehog on here, which is he's basically just a palette swap of Sonic the Hedgehog,
which I
really,
don't get why Shadow has got this much love. I mean, to me, Shadow
because
was.
he's the anti-hero.
I don't really care for Shadow. Never have. Never liked his character. From
If you go through this list and try to actually pick out characters that have a personality, you have maybe 10.
yes, and
Nathan Drake, definitely. Nathan Drake is definitely has a character. Duke Nukem, hell
yes,
yeah.
Jack from Jack and Daxter, the first game. I mean, he
Well,
really does. He doesn't say
see,
much, but he
Jack's
really
tricky
has.
because in Jack in the first game didn't have a personality because he didn't speak, but in the second and all subsequent games, they gave him a voice, and suddenly he did have this. It's kind of like Dead Space 2 when they suddenly gave Isaac a voice, and suddenly he's actually a major character rather than just a thing that you control to do
Yes,
stuff. Although to be perfectly honest, I like Daxter more than I like Jack.
yeah. Put
But
Daxter in that list
Yeah,
instead of Jack.
Daxter had a much greater personality as well. He was kind of he was just I forget what the term is. He just kind of tried to steal the show from everything.
well,
Uh,
I was just
even going back to the first Jack and Daxter, I'm surprised Daxter didn't end up on the list.
eh,
But people like Jack because he has the big gun.
yeah,
Look
Which
at how many
is really,
characters on
and I
this
did
list use
not.
guns.
Yeah, a lot of
lots,
them, and I did not
most of
like.
them.
Didn't like the sequel anyway to Jack and Daxter.
One, two.
Look
But
at
anyway,
45. Who the hell is Larry Laffer? Leisure
Lisa
Suit
Shoot
Larry
Larry.
Leisure
and the
Suit
Land of the
Larry.
Lounge Lizards. What the fuck is that?
That
Leisure
was the
Suit
old
Larry
game.
it was a series games. It's like an adventure game. Like go here, pick up this,
Point and
look
click
at
It's
this.
adventure
it's
game.
like a pair.
And
Yes,
it's kind of a juvenile humor game. Basically, the whole plot of the game is him trying to get laid,
Bruh.
yeah,
and
that's it.
everything from there
I'm
kind
actually
of.
also very surprised they don't have anyone from Eternal Darkness on this list. And that
Uh,
game had some great characters in it. I mean,
but
that game was
that's
nothing but character, let's face it.
but
And
let's be honest. These are the games that sold well. Most of
yeah,
these games are the ones that sold a lot well. I mean,
popular
um,
games
and by
create
the way,
popular
Ryu
characters.
number 49. I know he is, but I mean, come on, Ryu has really should be up at least at the top 10. I know
Yeah,
he.
Yeah,
Ryu doesn't have
He
a.
has such a huge fan base. I mean, I personally related more to Ken, but that's
Yeah,
just
but
me.
um, and you
It's
look
hard
at
to
some of
create
these other.
personality of someone who just punches everything all day, though.
I know
Yeah,
so many of these characters have no personality outside of their skill set.
Augustus
I mean,
Cole has more personality than Laura Croft. How's that? I mean, yeah, I mean, wouldn't you agree? He has more
I
personality.
don't know. Lara Croft, she had personality in the first couple of games. I mean, if you play the game, she has her dialogue. She has the things she says. She's a strong. She's a treasure hunter. She does this kind of stuff. She's basically a female version of
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Indiana
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a character like Pikachu, Yoshi.
Shoot.
What the hell?
Well,
Yeah, likable characters, and I like them both. I like using them in Smash Brothers, probably Yoshi more than Pikachu. But I mean, they have really no personality. Yoshi eats things. Okay.
It's
You have particular issue with number 50 on the very bottom of the list.
Sackboy! Why is
Sackboy.
Sackboy on the list? I mean,
oh, I mean, he is a recent character, and people, and I think he has that's
Sackboy is no character.
it's
He's deliberately designed to be a blank slate that you can make into anything, and that's so much of these characters really are just blank slates. I mean, if you have, it's fair to say that modern gamers don't know what the fuck they want. They want their characters to be blank slates so they can project themselves onto it. But I think if you have a well-written character, it works the other way around. You can see a piece of yourself in that character. It's what makes it easier to relate to them. And if they have realistic human emotions and motivations, you're going to be able to form a strong connection to them. That's why so many people love Nathan Drake in the Uncharted series because of the characters.
and
And
speaking of
so many of these
characters,
characters on this list, they show no emotion or personality outside of what they actually do in the game. And
and there are so many missed opportunities on this top
who
50.
would argue that Pac-Man has any actual personality beyond the happy, smiling video game mascots like Sonic or Crash Bandicoot or Blinks the Time Sweeper? Who the fuck ever talks about Blinks the Time Sweeper anymore?
But the
He was
thing is,
supposed to be the mascot, wasn't he? And then he was supposed to be like the Xbox mascot, and then he had one game and that's it.
two actually,
He's got shoveled away somewhere.
but honestly, there are so many missed opportunities in this list. I mean, how about Chun Li from Street Fighter? I don't see anyone from Mortal Kombat on this list as well. There's no Liu Kang. Let's see. What else? Let's see who else you think has not really. Luigi. Luigi's not there.
Well, nobody likes Luigi.
It actually says there, Luigi, 11 characters from Mario, none of which is Luigi, and then it just says everyone hates Luigi.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
And
I rather like Luigi's Match, and that was a really good game. Yes,
yeah,
it was
me too.
short, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah. But there's
I'm
so
hoping they
many
make
other.
a sequel.
Yeah, yeah, and there's so many other stuff here. Let's look. I'm looking and trying to find anything else. Let's see. What other Banjo Kazooie? I mean, anyone from those? I know there was a short period of time. Their latest game was crap, but they
There's
really
people
were.
who freaking love Banjo Kazooie. I don't think the latest game was crap. I think it did a lot of really interesting
There
things.
also isn't anything from BioShock, which had some really good characters in it,
Or
like
Kingdom
Andrew
Hearts.
Ryan
Kingdom
or
Hearts.
They're just the
Fontaine.
big daddies in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at the fan base of the big daddies. Nobody from TF2 was on here. I
Or
suppose they
Kingdom
don't.
Hearts.
And those guys all have a lot of personality.
Like I said, Kingdom Hearts. No one there on Kingdom Hearts, which is really shock. Or say
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Well, Kingdom Hearts is a shocker, purely based on how huge the fan base for that is. I'm surprised nobody on Kingdom Hearts made it on there because, yeah, if there's anything that could make it on there, it would be Kingdom Hearts.
Or what about John Marston from Red Dead Redemption? That guy has a hell of a lot of character.
Well, he is fairly recent game. When did they do this?
2000.
Maybe he'll make it on there in the next iteration or something. But yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, you have games from 2008 and I think some 2009
I mean,
games. And
also,
such,
if
but-
you look-
Calypso, Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
yes,
Also, there are only
Yeah,
two
I'm surprised.
Final Fantasy characters on this list. Both
And
of
they're
them
both
are
from
from Final
Final
Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is shit. I hate that game.
It's not shit, but
It
it's
is.
but it's a
Okay, it's not shit. It's overrated.
It's,
It is seriously overrated.
It's a fun game. It's not really shit. It's accessible. It made the game series more accessible to the
mainstream.
average person.
It's the main.
And that's really what made Final Fantasy a household name. Before Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VI, and all the things before that was kind of an unknown surprise.
I'm going to
that
say
all-
something now that I know a lot of people are going to hate me for, but I actually like Final Fantasy VIII better than I like Final Fantasy VII. And I know a lot of people are going to take issue with that.
I know, but honestly, one of the things I'm not surprised here on any of this list. I'm looking. How about Chrono from Chrono Trigger? Anyone from Chrono Trigger? You remember that
Yeah.
game? There's so many other games you can name here. Yeah.
I mean,
It's not a
I like
person-
37. 37 on this list is Ash Ketchum, who isn't actually a video game character. He
Either it's
only
the
exists in the anime.
And that was Red. And Grid, that was
Yeah.
not him. You had to pick your name. That is not Ash Ketchum at
No,
all. Ash
he's
Ketchum is
not a
not even
video
part of
game
the game.
character.
he represents you. It's most of these characters are supposed to represent you. So many of them are from first person shooters. It essentially is you in the game.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, and that's
And
so.
I
It's
think
such a
we've
shame.
probably gone on with this for quite some
And
time
one
now.
more before I go,
Okay.
and everything else, it just to me was a really missed opportunity in this whole huge thing. Is there was, oh man, there's no Okami. What about the dog Okami?
Amaterasu.
Amaterasu?
Amaterasu from again. Well, that's another character that doesn't really talk. Isun talks more than she does and kind of gets her in a lot of trouble.
But honestly, she has more character and probably one of the, I know underrated classics. But this is not really a gaming list. It's just there for the popular titles. There are
Yeah, it's
some.
Yeah.
just these it's just top 5 franchises that have protagonists.
It's
Yes,
basically like, let's make a list that people will like so they don't backlash at us about it. Rather than making a genuinely true list, they made a list that most people would agree with
the
because they've kind
Yeah.
of played
list
down to the fanboys.
exactly. It's a shame.
Well, it was voted on by gamers, so
Yeah,
Well, that explains it.
yeah,
That
modern gamers
explains
don't
a
know what the
lot.
fuck.
That does. Gamers don't know what they want half the time.
It's like, I like
yeah,
this game, so the main character from it must be good.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. And well, at least the top five. I mean, I can switch around, but most of the people on this list, some like say Spyro, I think deserves to be on here, and Dante deserves to be on here. Mega Man and Sam
Mega
Fisher as well. I mean, they're happy.
Mega Man and Sam Fisher are on this list, 23 and
Yeah,
24. They
I'm
deserve
happy
to be
they're on.
higher up.
Yes, they
They
deserve to be
deserve
high
to be
up.
higher.
They
Mega
should
Man
be in
should
the
be
top
higher
five.
up.
Mega Man should be in the top five personally.
Mm.
He's back. He should be up there with take away from Cloud. That's just me. He has more personality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Duke Nukem has more personality than any of these guys.
That's
yeah,
saying much.
Seriously.
He's very much a one-dimensional character, but he has more personality.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Well, before we finish today, I just want to say fuck the new Gawker layout.
What?
The new Gawker layout for Kotaku and Lifehacker and all those websites. Fuck it with a wood handle garden rake and break off the handle. Seriously,
Yeah.
this new layout is absolutely horrible. I linked you the Canada version of the site, but just just go to the main Kotaku.com site.
Hmm.
Uh, you got a link
Let's
handy?
see.
I mean, it looks okay to the naked eye, but the features that were originally there, they don't freaking work.
This
It's
looks
just
completely bland. That's the problem. It's a bland website. It looks something completely bland, and honestly, not
To
really.
be honest, I'm really starting to hate PHP in websites because it is making everything so flashy. Like DeviantArt, for example, everything is movable, it's interactive, and yes, it looks nice and it maybe works nice, but half the time it doesn't work properly, especially if you're not able to have a top of the line PC with which to run it on.
yeah. It's like these websites. You don't have just because you can run these things. Just
Doesn't
because you
mean
can run them with a graphics intensive computer doesn't mean you should have to. They
yeah,
design these things. It's like this is going to eat up a lot of memory. A lot of gamers have a lot of memory on their computers anyway.
That's
and
kind of
it's a
defeating the
shame.
point. In a way, that's kind of closing the door to new people. It's not helping in any real way.
I've never had to check the Canadian version of the site before, but not, I have to just so I don't get cluster fucked.
Yeah,
And they
and
say they're still working to fix the bugs that came up with the new layout. The new layout. But my question is, how come they didn't fix the bugs before the new layout?
that's the
It's
real
it's not
problem.
rocket science.
And that's the same thing in gaming and everything else. No, they'll fix it in post. They'll get like a DLC and patch
And
everything.
I've worked I worked as a game tester for a couple months, and you do try to get as many bugs out of the game as is humanly possible. We pulled a couple of 24-hour shifts trying to get this game as solid as possible. But everything it's going to happen. But then when you have a thing like this that is so totally different from what you have, you got to make sure that all the original features that were there are there, because originally you could, like, if there's somebody replied to a comment of yours, you could see that you would get a message at the top of the bar, you have new replies on your comments. You don't get that anymore. You have to go into your profile to see it, and even then they might not appear. And now there's people that were having trouble just commenting to begin with. They type the comment in, the loading bar would go for like 30 seconds, then say your comment has timed out, and then they post it again, and then like an hour later you get 50 comments from the same person flooding the freaking comments section. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, that's their website, and if they want to screw it up, let them do it.
We'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
We'll go to oneup.com or something.
Yeah, well, hey, that's what it is. You gotta look for other websites. I go. I mean, I don't really go to Kotaku.com as much, but I usually go on, you know, other gaming websites, a Screw Attack,
I don't
and
even bother looking on the website because if Zero finds something, he just tells me about it. So I don't. I found I don't need to bother. He just does it for me. Let him do all the hard work.
Well, you'll notice I've stopped recently because of
Yeah.
the new Kotaku layout. Okay.
I was just reading. Look at this comment. It's got Master Chief at number 3. Really? The line piece from Tetris is a better video game character.
yeah, it's just so crazy, and it's so sad that this. I mean, I mean, I don't want to go back to this game characters list,
Oh
but
God.
honestly, it's just that
Yeah.
why? It's just why. There's
Uh,
so
let,
many
let,
anything else.
Actually, like I think the line piece won a competition on IGN or something.
no, wasn't it on Game FAQ? They had that vote, character
Game
vote.
Facts, they had like the best
It was the
characters
L
list ever.
block. It was
The
the
L
L
block
block.
from Tetris made it into like the finals.
I think it won. I think it actually won. But then again, the companion cube has won that as well. So
The Companion Cube, that's another great character that
yeah,
should have been on the list.
it's a
Yeah,
character that doesn't say anything. It doesn't do anything. It's just an inanimate block, and
That
everybody loves
everybody
it
loves.
because you
yeah.
people. They did a study and people actually found it harder to kill the companion cube than to kill a little sister in Bioshock.
It's
Seriously.
sad. It's so freaking. This. I don't want
Which
to
is
go
what
back
makes
and.
Valve such great game
Oh yeah.
design.
The
They
only thing
knew
I will say,
exactly
if
what they were doing
someone
when they
from
made
Valve
Portal.
happens to listen to this, where the fuck is episode 3? We have been
It's
waiting for
right.
this for 4 years. Where is it?
You better apologize to us by making the portal gun unlockable in episode 3.
Episode
Yeah.
three is
Without hacking the game. Just
Yeah.
make the portal gun available in episode 3. Do
episode
it, bitches.
episode three is where basically it's in parts unknown. That's where it is.
Hmm.
Right there. You know, it's right
All I
there.
will say
I don't.
is it will tide me over with Portal 2, but I expect to have at least a video of Half-Life episode 3 on the same day, or I'm going to get very, very angry at someone.
Honestly, I had the orange box. I played through it, but Half Life. I'm lukewarm to it. I respect. I like it, but I'm more into the stuff like
Which be,
Bulletstorm and
it's
everything else.
it's not that I outright want to play it. I just want to find out what happens next in the story because the cliffhanger ending at the end of episode 2 was fucking. I couldn't believe they ended it that way. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't played it, but
No, I haven't played episode
you know
two
you
yet.
know what I mean. Those who've
Yeah,
played it.
those like everything like a good cliffhanger from like Sonic Sat AM, and then they basically say no, we're not going to finish the
Yeah,
series.
fucking replaced by
Cancelled.
Power Rangers. Can you believe that? Anyway,
I mean,
we're getting slightly off topic here.
Well, we're
yeah,
just gonna we're finishing up now, so we're
Yeah.
gonna end it the way we usually do. Let's go around and just talk about what games we've been playing recently.
Well, I've been playing Golden Sun Dark Dawn. Quite a lot actually. I picked up Golden Sun Dark Dawn and Dragon Quest IX at the same time because I really wanted to play an RPG, and so I picked them both up, and it was Golden Sun Dark Dawn that held my attention.
Did
Um,
you play the first Golden Sun
no, I
games?
haven't played either of the other two Golden Sun games, so this it was general. But I'm actually going to go back and find them now that I played this one. So if you're a fan of RPGs, I really think you should give it a look because it adds extra layers to it because the moves you can use in battle can also be used in the field to solve puzzles. Which is a nice twist, I think. Like you can move boulders or you can make plants grow and stuff like that. And it's used both in battle and out of battle, and it's got a really good story. It's a bit short-ish, but then again, it's a DS game, so don't expect a gigantic length, but it's a fairly decent length. Well worth picking up if you're a fan of RPGs.
Duke, how about you?
Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Basically, that's been I've been playing. Um, that's how I've been playing it all week mostly. Doing homework and finishing up my latest review and such. That's what I've been doing. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I don't care what the heck the story is. I think it's like Albert Wesker and Doctor Doom try to steal
Yeah, Albert Wesker
Galactus'.
and Doctor Doom working together. That kind of sold it for me, really.
Well, and honestly, and yet their big plan was trying to steal energy from Galactus, and yeah, Galactus gets a little pissed off.
Albert Wesker and Doctor Doom try to, you guessed it, take over
Take
the
over the
world.
world, of
Of
course.
course, I know. Honestly,
That was
so
quite good.
seriously, I honestly didn't think. And their plan was to steal energy from Galactus, and well, Galactus didn't like that and said, "Screw the deal that I made with Fantastic Four. I'm gonna go eat the planet Earth." Yeah, that's nice. Couldn't they just, I don't know, just make a weapon or something? Do something
Who'd
with
want
the
to
T
eat Earth?
virus?
Well, who plays a fighting game for the story, though, really?
Uh, I guarantee some
Really, a
people.
story is just an excuse for people to beat the shit out of each other.
Uh,
Exactly.
I know there's some people in Street Fighter fans are crazy about that story, but that's just them.
Mm.
As for me, I recently got back into playing Mass Effect, the first Mass Effect. Uh, I'm not that far in. I just barely visited my first planet after you become captain of the Normandy. So,
Yeah,
but
that's the big hump in that game, isn't it? It's a very big wall when you
yeah,
gain control of the Normandy.
it's not really a wall. It's just a very you have so many places to go, you don't know where to start. So I
Yeah.
just figure I'm just going to trust the game developers that they design the game to be played like this. I'm just going to pick somewhere and go there and see what I find.
Yeah.
And you just got to trust that the game developers tested it enough, balanced it enough that you're not going to get stuck somewhere.
No,
Well,
it's actually fairly well balanced. Basically, when you're on the map screen, if you see like a little name and a pointer looking at one of those things, that's one of the main storyline missions. And anywhere else you can go is all side missions. That's the easy way. That's the way they divide it. The main missions are pointed out. Anywhere else is side missions. That's an easy way. That's how I managed to push myself through the game. And then, of course, I went on to Mass Effect 2, which I absolutely fell in love with.
yes, I'm loving Mass Effect 2. Haven't played it yet since Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I'm planning to get back to it
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah, it was
Were you a
weird
fan
because
of Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
yeah,
Yes, yes, of
Because
course
I've
I
heard a
was.
lot of people complaining about all the changes to Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That they
Well,
changed a lot of
hey,
the
this
way
is
the
a
combat
topic
works.
for
Really.
next week. Save it for next time.
Well, I haven't played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so I don't have any money to get one. So
yeah,
I've been playing it, and trust me, it's just people like for myself who are not the tournament players, that's only the people who just play in tournaments and everything else. Like they can't do like 500 combos and this, that, and the other. It's so complicated. It's not
well,
the
maybe the people who made Brawl Plus are going to turn over to do Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Plus.
Yeah, and do like make combos so like I love Taxi versus Capcom, but sheesh, I mean once you go online, man, those players can beat the crap out
Go
of
online,
without
people
even
are
mo.
crap. But
Without,
yeah, people who complained that Super Smash Bros. Brawl ruined the tourney scene. Welcome to the club.
yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
like what's wrong with letting everybody play? That's my thing.
exactly. What's wrong with everybody playing, everybody having fun? No, this is serious.
No, it isn't. Fuck off. It's a game.
That's it for this episode. This is Gamers Without Borders. Until next time, this is Test Zero.
Boy here.
T.
Later.
Bye.